Hi there, this is Bo.
And this is Jerry.
And this is Don't Insult My Intelligence.
It's the podcast that questions, challenges, and exposes things that just insult our intelligence.
And those things can come from anywhere. Politics, society, music, movies, television, wherever.
Yep, and we're going to talk about it all. And in most cases, it's probably going to piss some people off. Parents, be warned that this podcast is not for kids. It's PG-13 at best and a hard R at most other times.
A little background. Jerry and I have been friends since high school, and we've always thought and lived a little outside of the norm, and we generally push the edge on most topics.
Mm-hmm. And when we were young, Bo's dad, when he would bust us doing stuff, as dads will do, when we tried to argue any kind of BS explanation to him, he would just stop and stare us straight in the face and just say, "Don't insult my intelligence."
Yeah, that was one of his most frequent sayings, so we heard that quite a bit growing up.
So we thought it'd make a great podcast concept, and here it is.
So here we go.
Don't insult my intelligence. Okay, just so everybody has a little bit of background on the Tom versus Tom podcast. Basically, we have, we want to make fun and interesting podcasts, but we were sitting around and we also want to do some that are lighter and just a little more fluff. So one night over dinner and drinks, we started getting into a debate about Tom Cruise, and then that led into, Bo argued probably, obviously one of, if not the biggest movie star of our time, and then that brought up the comparison between he and Tom Hanks. So basically that's where that stemmed from. And just so everybody knows, going forward, we're going to do podcasts nonstop. We're going to do the ones that most of the ones you've heard, but we will sprinkle in more of that type of format, just, when we just want to lay back and have a little bit of fun and give everybody a little lighter fare to listen to.
Yeah, so, not all these controversial topics all the time.
Exactly. So, but just so everybody knows, that's where Tom versus Tom started.
Cool. So today's Don't Insult My Intelligence is Tom is better than Tom. And by Tom is better than Tom, we mean Tom Cruise or Tom Hanks, right?
That's right.
And I think we were having a discussion over drinks or dinner or something, and I think we started talking about Tom Cruise just in general.
We did, and to preface that, so the topic started because I hate that man. I just don't Cruise. Like him, right?
Right.
But in that being said, it's let's look at what he's done in movies, and whether I like him or not, I had to bow down to there are some really good movies and some good performances that he's done.
Right.
So in that kind of, I was like, but, put him against someone like Tom Hanks. Well, sure. Then there became, within the discussion, a little bit of an argument there of like, it could be argued some over the other. And that being said, we decided, let's just put it to the test here on the podcast.
Yeah, and I think once we pulled up Tom Cruise's Wikipedia and his filmography, and we started going through it, and we're like, wow, that was a great performance. Wow, that was a great movie. So was that. Wow, so was that. And then we were like, wow, Tom Hanks has to have just as many. And then you start looking at Tom Hanks, and while he's maybe got more hugely significant movies,
right?
He doesn't really have the volume that Tom Cruise does that were big, giant movies also.
Potentially, right.
Yeah, and so we're thinking, okay, so how do we compare the two? And let's figure out who is more culturally significant, right. I guess, Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise. So what we did, we came up with a scale. Mm-hmm. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of their movies, and these are two good ones to compare because they're from the same cultural era. Their movie careers start almost exactly the same years.
Exactly.
Even though Tom Hanks is, 6 years older than Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Tom Hanks is 61. Tom Cruise is 55. But they both started in like 1981.
In the very early 80s.
81, 82. Right. So their careers they're right along with each other. And And then so we came up with a scale. So we're just going to rank each of their movies, each of the performances in their movies, on a 0 through 3 scale. All right, so I have the scale right here in front of me. And so a 0 is that it was a culturally insignificant work. Okay, and we're both going to agree on each of these.
Right.
So the point of the podcast will be discussing on what we rank. So we're not going to say, Jerry's not going to say 1 and I'm going to say 3. We're both going to agree.
Yeah, we have to hammer it out.
Yep. Number 1, okay, so a 0 is culturally insignificant. 1 is a notable performance with marginal to above average cultural impact.
Right.
2 would be an above average performance that had significant cultural impact or recognition.
Yes.
And number 3 is a performance recognized by the industry with top awards or achievements and or just has major long-lasting cultural impact.
Correct.
So either like top awards and cultural impact are just so huge in the culture that it's a 3.
Sure.
Right, exactly. So that's our rating scale. So we're just going to go through and kind of go back and forth. We're going to start in the 80s, and we're just going to go one to the next. So we'll do one. We'll mention one Tom Cruise movie and then one Tom Hanks movie. We'll rank them and record it. And we're leaving out 2016 and 2017.
Right.
So we're stopping once we get to 2015.
And also on that note, what we are doing, because we've looked at these lists, and there's going to be a movie or two that we have not seen. And if we haven't seen it and know nothing about it whatsoever, not to say it's bad,
It's going to count as a 0.
we're counting it as a 0. Because in all honesty, if we don't know anything about it and haven't seen it, how culturally relevant is it?
It fits, I think, in significant cultural impact. It's a 0.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So Top Gun, I've never seen it. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, that won't be the first one we started with anyway. So. All right,
Cool.
So who do we want to throw out first?
I don't care. Let's go with Tom Cruise since C is before H.
Or do you want to do date?
Oh, I don't care. So Tom Cruise's first movie is 1981.
All right, Hanks is the 80.
Okay, so let's go with Hanks.
All right, well, this will be easy.
Okay.
First movie for Tom Hanks, He Knows You're Alone.
That's a 0.
Okay, I'm not even registering this on the chart. So that's we're done with that one. Go ahead.
Yep. And then Tom Cruise would be Endless Love. He was in Endless Love in 81.
Okay, again, I say 0.
Also a 0.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, now we'll get into it. So now on Hanks, the next one is Splash.
Okay, that's a good one.
So
That was his second movie?
That was his second movie.
Wow. That's got to be an interesting story. How did he land that?
Was that
Robert? That was Ron Howard.
Yeah, so he's clearly made a friend in Ron Howard.
Wow. Splash is a 2?
See, I kind of give it a 1.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
I mean,
it's a notable performance.
It is.
Right?
It is. And we can argue.
It was a big hit movie, though.
It was a hit movie. But again, we're talking about the cultural significance of it. And I guess it's hard to define. Yeah. I mean, nowadays, if you say Splash to someone.
Yep. It's a 1, I guess. I'm
it's easily a 1.
Yes.
I mean, I guess it could be argued a 2. I'm not giving it a 2.
I think it's a 1. I'm with you. It's a 1. So you got to write down Splash.
So we got to say Splash is a 1.
Splash is a 1. Okay.
All right. What's the next one for you?
All right. Tom Hanks is in the lead, 1-0. All right. Taps.
Okay.
That came out in 1981. That was the one where, and we probably ought to give a little description, right?
Sure,
so
if people don't know.
So Splash is the one with Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah, and she turns into a mermaid.
He finds out she's a mermaid, falls in love with her, and and John Candy's his best friend.
Oh, that's right. Man, he was great in that. All right, so then Taps was the movie about the military school that gets taken over and they end up killing and shooting and violence and all that.
Yes.
And this is, good movie.
It was good.
Right? And George C. Scott was in it.
Yes.
And who was the other guy?
Not the kids?
I want to say Timothy Hutton or some.
Timothy Hutton.
Timothy Hutton was in it. That was a great movie.
Yeah, it is good.
Great movie. Tom Hanks was the lead.
Right,
Second lead.
Yeah.
He was like the main cadet.
Right.
I'll say that's a 1.
Oh, I would give that a 1.
A 1?
It's definitely a 1.
Yep.
It's not a 0.
No, a 1.
But again, for culture, I mean, in our time when we saw it, it was amazing. Again, as somebody taps today, they're gonna the tune is what they're gonna.
It kind of started Tom Cruise off as, hey, this guy's a serious actor.
It did.
Good looking, good actor, young actor.
And you're right. Going off of that, considering what roles he's had, it was a serious role.
Yeah.
So we'll give Taps a 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Hanks.
Okay.
Bachelor Party. To me, that's a 0.
Yeah, I would say it's just, but it's a mention. It's almost a 1 just because Bachelor Party, it did have some pretty, in an Animal House kind of way, it had some cultural impact, but nowhere near Animal House. Nothing like Animal House. But it did have, there was some catchphrase from the movie that hung around for a while, I think. I can't remember.
Right, because it wasn't that good.
Because it wasn't that significant. Okay, it's a 0.
You know, but I will tell you this, though. Since you brought that up, not that this changes our ranking any. It's, as we go along, it's something that I find is going to be interesting, is looking at, and Bo just hit on it when he started talking about Taps. Clearly, Cruise starts serious roles. Serious dramatic roles.
Yeah.
Hank starts...
He starts out as a comedian.
As a comedian, which in all honesty, looking at this list, is a lackluster comedian. Yeah. In my opinion.
Well, he was a stand-up for a while.
And, you know, only for a while.
Yes. And then was on Bosom Buddies, and that was a comedy.
Correct.
I mean, he was a comedy guy.
He's comedic.
Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't put him in stand-up.
Yeah, like Cruise has always been like serious. He's never been comedy, really.
Right. So, but I just want to throw that out there as we get later down this list. It's interesting how that changes. And anyone who's seen these movies and knows, you know what I'm talking about. Sure. But it's interesting. Yep. Okay. So,
but I got to give it to Tom Hanks. He was on Saturday. He's got some funny stuff on Saturday Night Live.
Yes, he does.
He's a funny guy.
He does. All right. So, Bachelor Party 0. Go ahead.
1983. Tom Cruise was in The Outsiders.
All right.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah.
So we've got major director there.
Yes.
Huge ensemble cast.
Yeah, lots of star power in there.
One of my favorite movies.
It's a great movie.
Still going to say it's a 0. Because he was only in it for like 5 to 10 minutes total screen time.
Yeah, it wasn't his movie.
No.
And I agree with you. I mean, as much as... You know, movie-wise, it hurts me to even say it's a 0. But talking about Tom Cruise, I'd have to say you're right. It is a 0.
So if you haven't seen The Outsiders, that is worth a watch.
It is.
It's a good movie. It's Francis Ford Coppola. Good grief. It's Patrick Swayze, Thomas C. Howell, Ralph Macchio, Tom Cruise, Rob Lowe. And I'm running. There's one other.
I know there's someone else in there.
Yeah, and a couple.
Oh, Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon. Oh yeah, Matt Dillon's like the main character.
Yeah,
we miss him. And great movie.
Yeah, it's good.
And I forget the female lead. I forget her name, but she's been in a couple of bunch of stuff here and there.
I'm drawing a blank on her.
Really good. Great movie.
It is good. Okay.
But a 0.
Yeah, 0. Sadly. All right, 1985. Hanks, The Man with One Red Shoe.
Funny, it has a couple things. So The Man with One Red Shoe is where he's just a regular dude, and the CIA or the FBI or somebody chooses to target him as a pawn, as a distraction, a countermeasure for some effort, and he gets sucked into it. And you know, an 80s comedy, it's a 0.
Yep.
Right.
It holds no weight or water with anything.
Yeah. All right, so Tom Cruise still in the 83. So maybe we should do a couple Tom Cruise in a row to catch up time wise. Because I got 3 in 1983.
No, because I don't think the year really matters.
Okay,
yeah.
Just keep going. All right, 1983, Losing It with Tom Cruise.
Okay, I'm going to have to be honest.
Yep.
Bo can give you the rundown on this one because I haven't seen it.
It's a 0. But it's worth watching for you if you were born in the 80s. It's a shame you missed it because it's a great 80s time capsule movie. Shelley Long, it's Tom Cruise and Shelley Long, and
oh my God,
they go to Mexico to lose it. So their buddy is a virgin, and they want to take him to Tijuana to lose his virginity.
And for those who don't know, Shelley Long is Diane on Cheers.
Yeah, right.
Because other than that, you might not know who she is.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
0.
Yes, I can't. Okay. I can't vote either way. All right, Hanks, Volunteers.
Also 0.
Which is the Peace Corps one.
Peace Corps comedy movie, rom-com movie from the 80s, and insignificant.
0.
Yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
All right, 1983, Risky Business with Tom Cruise.
Oh, God.
So it's funny, we're just saying he's serious, but this was a comedic role.
Sort of. I mean,
teen angst comedy.
It was more the comedy part in it. It wasn't
but rated R.
It is. And so if you haven't seen it, it could be classified as a lighthearted comedy thing. But it's not the same as what we're talking about with Hanks, where Hanks was in it for the comedic role.
Right.
This is more a comedic situation. Cruise wasn't in it as the funny man.
No, he wasn't.
But for anyone who hasn't seen this, which you absolutely should have, it's a rite of passage for people our age.
Yeah. Great movie.
It's a movie of teenage kid doing teenage things. Parents go out of town, and house party has a party. Something gets destroyed of value.
Yes.
He needs to make money to get this thing back.
Yes.
He ends up having a dalliance with a hooker, and then the hooker ends up convincing him to become a pimp.
Yes.
To earn money to buy this little memento nugget of his parents back.
Yes. And there's a great scene. It's like, don't take the Porsche out. So it's like an 80s decadence movie, too, because his dad's rich 80s guy.
Yeah.
He's got a Porsche 944, which is a really cool Porsche that they don't really make anymore. Takes it out, trashes it. Does the whole thing.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good movie. So I'm going to say that's a 2. Or a 1.
I have a hard time with it because... Definitely a 1. I think his performance, I talked to Bo about this before. Mm-hmm. Tom Cruise does sell. I mean, it's funny because in the beginning, he sells that panicked teenager, like on the verge of crying, that his parents are going to kick his ass.
Yep.
But then he also really turns in to a hardcore pimp, right?
Yep.
It's like,
and it's got the old time rock and roll movie scene.
Yeah.
Where he does that, and that stuck around forever. It's actually still, there was a commercial based on it last year.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say.
You know what I mean?
And you're right. And because of that...
And then he had that scene that also, where it was like, Porsche, there is no substitute. And Porsche even took that on for a little while as an ad thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's a pretty significant movie.
And you know what? I would just say in general, off the performance, just because of the movie, we like it. It's our time frame. I would give it a 1. But you're right. Doubling it up with Bob Seger and sliding around in socks and underwear in a polo Oxford puts it at a 2, I would say. I'll agree with you on the 2. So we'll give Risky Business the 2. Okay. Hanks. The next one, The Money Pit.
The Money Pit.
Also with Shelley Long.
Yes. Where they buy a house and it takes all their money and it ends up falling down. They have to rebuild it from scratch to sell it.
It's a lemon. And it's a lemon that no matter how much money you pump in, something else is wrong and it's a lemon. And that being said, that to me, that movie is a lemon. That is a 0.
It's a 0 for sure.
So far,
but not bad. Not a horrible movie. But
it's entertaining. It's one of those things if you've got nothing to do and you
better than Volunteers.
Yes, it is better than Volunteers. I mean, so far I have to say, Cruise is in the lead.
Yeah, he's in the lead.
Okay, go ahead then. What's the next one?
I think Tom Hanks is going to catch him though.
We'll get there.
The next one is All the Right Moves.
Okay. The football movie.
The football movie, yeah. Directed by Michael Chapman. We're still in 1983.
Again, a high school.
High school
time frame.
Yeah. same old. It's kind of the lingering 1970s trope of like, do I go to college or do I stay home and work the factory job and follow in my old man's footsteps? But I want to break out of this small town, bobbity bobbity bob, my high school sweetheart movie, right? Isn't that what it is? And he gets hurt. He could have gone to college to play football, but does he work in the steel mill?
Right.
Yada 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 movie. It was pretty popular. I mean, to me, I'm leaning 0. But you could talk me into a 1.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, here's the deal. I'm having a hard time with this one.
Okay.
I want to say. Part of me wants to say 1 and 0.
Right.
The 1, just because when it comes, we're talking about if you're looking at his early works, like Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Just
him alone, the performance, storyline's nothing exceptional, but he does good in it, right?
Yeah.
So I would say 1. For that. But then really the movie is...
Emilio Estevez could have done that job.
Yeah,
too.
you're right.
Anybody
That's
could
nothing.
have.
Yeah, because in the movie it just doesn't resonate nowadays.
It's a pretty thin character in my opinion.
No one even knows what that movie is.
There's the director is an unknown guy. There's nothing about... I mean, it was just... I think it was a hit. I think it was a hit because of Risky Business. Like if there wasn't, if Risky Business hadn't been there, you might not have even heard of that.
You sold me. All the Right Moves sucks. What a crappy movie. All right, screw that.
Okay, so 0 on All the Right Moves.
Okay, so that's a 0.
All right.
All right, here we go. Tom Hanks, Nothing in Common.
Oh man, that's a great movie.
With him and Jackie Gleason.
Jackie Gleason.
Which that alone, I'm sorry, for me alone, anything with Jackie Gleason deserves a 1.
That was Jackie Gleason's last movie.
Yeah.
Also. And that's a great movie. So that's where his dad has a terminal illness. And Jackie Gleason actually was dying of diabetes, I think, during the performance.
Yeah.
That's at least a 1.
That's a 1.
Okay.
I can't give it more than that.
Okay.
But like I said, I'll give anything with Jackie Gleason in it a 1. I mean,
Well, even though, but it was a good performance. It was really Hanks' first dramatic performance.
Right.
Right? Of any significance?
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, that's a 1.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, so now we're up to 1985 with Tom Cruise, the movie Legend, directed by Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Okay, so significant director. Ridley Scott directed Alien, right? So probably Alien came out, 80? 81?
Yeah.
So this was probably his next project. So if you don't remember Legend was the one where it's like a fantasy movie where there's the devil or a devil type character is taking over the fairyland.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise plays like a prince or something or he helps trying to save the fairy kingdom. Visually cool movie.
Very
at
cool
the time.
Visually, yes.
I mean, I remember liking it. And that devil character guy was really super cool looking and scary.
Right.
But I'm still kind of leaning on 0.
Well, because Tom Cruise's performance in it
that was one of those where I think he just
was in it.
It was like that movie was probably sold as going to be huge.
Right.
But it just kind of petered out just because the story really wasn't there.
No, it wasn't. So all right,
but I might want to watch that again.
Sure, but for this, it's a 0.
It's a 0.
All right. Now, Hank's next one, Every Time We Say Goodbye.
What year is that?
86.
I kind of remember it, sort of.
I don't remember it at all.
So it's a 0.
It has to be.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Okay. So let's take a breath on this one because this one we're going to have to discuss. So now we're jump up to 1986. Top Gun with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Okay. Now the discussion point here is it a 3 or a 2? Is it a 2 or a 3? Oh my God. Okay.
See, that's funny because I thought the discussion was whether it was a 1 or a 2.
Dude, Top Gun is Top Gun. Okay, I'm gonna pull up our list, and I think this is a major movie in Tom Cruise's career, right? This is a career-defining movie that he was in. So let's just to revisit. A 2 is an above-average performance that has significant cultural impact and recognition.
Right.
All right. So a 3 is a performance recognized by industry as top awards or has major, long-lasting cultural impact.
Right. I think there's a fine line there.
So the argument is Top Gun obviously didn't win any Academy Awards or any awards like that, but I mean maybe the song did. Maybe one of them
Kenny
did.
Loggins in himself could be like we could have a whole thing on him,
but so was Top Gun a major, long-lasting cultural impact enough to make it a 3?
Okay. Here's my thing with that, and this is where we're starting, and I'm going to try to take my personal feelings out of this.
Because I think, well, based on our definition, it's at least a 2. Based on our definition,
it is.
It's above average performance.
Yeah.
I mean, because he was Maverick, he was the lead in the movie.
Right.
You know.
Right. I mean, just this is where I start to get to the I hate Tom Cruise kind of thing.
Right. Guys hated Maverick in this movie. Girls loved it.
I just don't see him. He's not. I have a hard time. I know he's proven that he can do it. I just don't buy into him as an action hero, like the I'll save the day, kick your ass action hero.
Well, okay, but on that. It really wasn't. I'll kick your ass.
No, I
it's
understand.
My plane.
Right.
That's
true.
I'm so awesome at flying.
No, but it's the attitude he had.
I can be almost a midget and still beat your ass with my awesome 1980s technology plane.
Right. So, and I'll give you that. No, that's just my personal thing. But yes, looking at it culturally, it is a 2.
Yes.
I can't give it a 3.
All right.
Only in the sense that and I look at it like this. If this is maybe helps as a marking point for this ranking, is for a 2. I will give you that. I think anyone that is older than say 35 or so, they're going to get any reference to this. They're going to Top Gun. You can just start like humming Danger Zone, and they're like, "Oh, Top Gun," right? But someone in their 20s might not have any clue. I mean, not to say they haven't heard of Top Gun, but, they probably heard of Casablanca 2 and never seen it, right? So it's like, I just don't think it holds that weight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think a number 3 would be like if somebody said, like, Phone Home. People know what that's from, right?
I don't know. That's waning, too.
Well.
E.T. Phone Home?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little, anybody under 20, they're not going to know what that is.
Maybe.
So, but, okay, so one other thing. Here's my one last pitch. I'm with you on a 2. They are making a sequel.
They are.
Right? And I was going to Google it real fast. Are they making a Tom...
I can only do that if you are listening to the podcasts app.
What? Okay. Hey Siri, are they making a sequel to Top Gun?
Here's what I found on the web for Are They Making a Sequel to Top Gun?
Yep.
I told you.
Sequel gets release date, so it's coming. So, starts filming next year.
Yep.
For a 2019 July release.
So maybe when that happens, Top Gun might be a 3.
Pops up to a 3?
But I say for now it's a 2.
All right, I'm with you there.
All right. Okay, for Hanks. Jeez. Dragnet. For anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, Dragnet was a television show.
Yeah, from the 60s?
Like late 50s, early 60s, where you had these 2 cops.
Just the facts.
In L.A., right, Just the Facts, ma'am, which I can't, that's from the show. The movie didn't give credence to that. And basically they were just cops, detectives, right, who went out and solved crimes. And very monotone, very flat, very by the book. At least the one of them was absolutely that way.
Yeah.
And the movie was a remake of that show with Dan Aykroyd as the straight-laced cop and Tom Hanks as the more, let's be wild, let's be fun. You don't need to follow the rule book every 5 minutes.
Yep.
And either way, it's a 0.
Yep, I agree.
That movie sucked.
Yeah, it was bad.
So,
I think I saw it on HBO or something. I didn't even go see it when it came out.
This is not looking good.
No, it's not.
I mean, because in all honesty...
Because I'm looking at what's coming up with Tom Cruise, man.
If it weren't for Ron Howard and Jackie Gleason... At this point, and we're working our way now to 1988.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks wouldn't even be on the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Go ahead.
So the next one, I'm in 1986, The Color of Money.
Okay.
With Paul Newman, directed by Martin Scorsese.
And Elizabeth Shue.
I
love her.
Yes.
She's my favorite.
Good movie.
It was
with
good.
An awesome song by Eric Clapton. Also. Great
and a
movie.
really bad song by the Beach Boys.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, wait, what song was that?
Kokomo.
No, that's from Cocktail.
Oh, sorry. Oh, you're right. Okay,
that's
we'll
coming
get
up
to
next.
that one.
That's coming up next.
Horrible.
That's coming up next.
Horrible song. Okay, yay, Eric Clapton. Boo,
you know what?
Beach
Okay,
Boys.
you said Cocktail. That's the next movie. It's a 0. I don't know. Is it a 0?
Yes.
It's a 0. Okay. So
so we don't have to get into that one.
Back to Color of Money.
Yes, Color of Money's different. You're right.
Color of Money, I'm going to say Tom Cruise level, it's a 1.
I agree.
Agree on a 1?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, you can look at it, and I think it's almost like the Jackie Gleason thing.
Yep.
Almost like any movie you put Paul Newman in, you should be a 2.
Yep.
And it probably is a 2 if you're talking about that.
Yeah.
But we're talking about just Tom Cruise.
And it also kind of fizzled because, it's funny you say Jackie Gleason, because this movie was supposed to be an unofficial sequel to The Hustler.
Right, which is...
And it just fizzled. It didn't have the same, I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. It just didn't gel.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. But it's a 1 at least.
Yeah, it's a 1.
All right, so Color of Money we have determined is a 1.
Yeah. Do you want to review real fast what you got on Cruise? Just to make sure?
Sure, we can.
Since I'm looking at him and you're...
Well, why don't we wait until we hit, like, decade pinnacle?
Okay,
like
okay.
The 90s, and we'll go back.
Yeah.
All right, so we've already eliminated Cocktail.
Yeah,
Cocktail. Which will be next. Not that we're going to jump ahead. Okay, so let's finally get on the board for real here with Hanks.
Okay.
And Big.
All right, Big, yeah.
So, Big, whoever hasn't seen it, it's a story of...
Who directed it, does it say?
I can't... No.
It doesn't say on your list who directed it?
Josh Baskin. No, that's the... Give me a second. That's the role. No, it does not.
Okay, just wondering.
Not on the one I'm on.
All right.
Anyway, so, all right, for anyone who doesn't know, Big is the story of a kid who, like all kids, like, oh, my parents are making me mad, blah, 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 blah. A carnival comes to town, and he goes, and there's one of these magic, like, coin-operated machines with a genie in it where you grab the handle. Yeah, Zoltar. And you make a wish, and he wishes to be big, meaning an adult. But that's not what he asked for. He asked to be big. So basically then he wakes up and he is an adult. But mentally and emotionally he's still like a 9-year-old boy. And then he basically moves on into New York City, gets a job. It's
and a toy company.
Yeah, a toy company. A lot of little things of how that shakes out. But basically, it's him coming to terms as a child in an adult's body and how everybody he comes in contact with, not knowing what's really going on, how it all interacts. And it's a cute movie. It's a nice movie.
Directed by Penny Marshall.
Oh, it's a Penny Marshall movie. It feels a Penny Marshall movie.
Yeah. Who is another longer career connection for Tom Hanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also it had Robert Loggia in it.
Yeah, who was great.
I love.
Dead now, but yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, Robert Loggia is great. And on that note, anyone who hasn't seen Big, I guarantee you, just as if in the Risky Business thing, what you have seen is the scene of Tom Hanks and Robert Loggia and F.A.O. Schwartz dancing on the floor, colored piano keys.
Yep.
Doing chopsticks. You've seen this.
Yeah.
So, that being said, because of that, right there, for the same reason as Risky Business, I want Big to have a 2.
Oh, yeah. I think Big's a 2. Absolutely.
Okay.
Big is a 2. I thought you were going to say it's a 3.
No. We haven't even gotten to the 3s.
Yeah,
we'll get to some, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, Big is definitely 2. Great movie. Huge cultural impact. Lasted for years. It was in everybody's... It was in the zeitgeist for 10 years easy. Longer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Great movie.
All right, what you got?
Okay, we did Cocktail, also 1988. Now we're on Rain Man.
Oh!
Okay. Rain Man, directed by Barry Levinson, notable director. It's where Tom Cruise is the younger brother to Dustin Hoffman's portrayal, Academy Award winning role, playing an autistic, right?
Yes, he's autistic.
Autistic person who had that like genius level autism factor.
Correct.
You know, where you could drop toothpicks on the floor, a box of toothpicks on the floor, and he could instantly tell you how many there were.
Right.
That kind of thing. Really good role for Tom Cruise, I think. Incredibly popular movie. Kind of was, I'm going to say it's kind of like a branch out for him where he had, it was that movie where the arc was like you hate him in the beginning because he's a jerk.
Right.
Like Charlie Babbitt, right, is who it was, who he played.
Yeah.
He was a jerk in the beginning, like, oh my God, I got to deal with this crap, and then ends up becoming his brother's advocate.
Sure.
And you end up loving him at the end.
Absolutely.
You know? And I don't think he was ever in a really role like that before, so it was like a new kind of role for him.
That's true.
I mean, I'm going to say Rain Man's a 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Rain Man is, I mean, people still say Rain Man.
Yeah, no. I mean, and again, I mean, and I agree. Yeah, it's most definitely a 2. The only thing keeping, on a different list, it could be a 3, but because we're talking Tom Cruise. If we were talking Dustin Hoffman, I would say, a 3.
Yeah, well, he won an Academy Award for it.
Right, but Tom Cruise's portion of it is a 2. Easily.
Hold on. Was he nominated for Best Supporting Actor for that?
I don't know.
I kind of want to say.
He might have been.
I'm going to search it real fast.
But no, that one is absolutely a 2.
Okay.
And this is really scary looking at this list.
I'm telling you, man. This is why I wanted to talk about it.
Because it's like...
That's what hit me when we looked up Tom Cruise, man. He doesn't get the credit he deserves.
And just so everybody knows, before we start doing recounts, which we'll do as soon as we hit the 1990, that kind of the vibe, when we were going into this, I guess, because this started off as my argument against Tom Cruise. So it kind of, at least me, I'm personally going into this kind of feeling like Bo's rooting for Cruise, where I'm rooting for Hanks, and I'm losing at the moment.
I'm not rooting for either. I love Tom Hanks.
I love Tom Hanks. I hate Tom Cruise. These movies, though, are stand on their own and have nothing to do with my personal opinion.
Yes.
Jeez. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I'm just looking at the list, so it's going to be a lot of duds coming up for me.
Hold on. So yes, it won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor. Rain Man.
Right.
And then it had 4 other nominations, and I just wanted to see if he got nominated for Best Supporting, which I don't think he did.
He might not.
That would probably be mentioned here. Okay. Regardless. All right.
Wonderful movie, though.
Yeah, great movie. One of those ones that almost swept. If there wasn't a female lead.
No.
So if
there was that girl that he met that he got drug along with,
yeah, but she wasn't really a lead in it.
No.
Yeah, but it was one of those ones that it could have swept like Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
Didn't Silence of the Lambs win them all? Didn't win Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress? I think it won them all.
I don't know if it won them all.
I don't know.
Well, that's for another day.
I think it did. Anyway.
Okay, so the next Tom Hanks one, Punchline.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yep, that's where he was a stand-up comedian.
With Sally Fields.
Yep. I saw it. Good movie, but
0.
But a 0. But a good movie.
You're up.
All right. 1989. Born on the 4th of July.
Oh, let me go ahead and write this one down.
Directed by Oliver Stone. In my opinion, probably Tom Hanks' best performance of his entire career.
Agreed.
Because he played Ron Kovic. I think it's based on a true story.
It is.
And he plays a paraplegic Vietnam vet.
Right.
And he was awesome in it.
Yes.
I mean, he was awesome. And it's one of those roles where you almost forget it's Tom Cruise because he doesn't look anything like himself, obviously. there's some really great scenes where it shows him not only struggling with the Vietnam War and post-traumatic stress and all that stuff, but it just shows him, it shows like how hard it is to have a fucking wheelchair, and how to deal with that, and the whole struggle with his mom not, pretending that he's not disabled, and this whole, it was just a great
good. Yeah. So,
and the thing is I don't know real fast, was he nominated or did he win the Oscar for that, or?
I don't know if he won.
Yeah.
I almost guarantee he was nominated.
It was his first Academy Award nomination.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, he did not win though. 2 for Best Director, and won the Oscar for Best Editing. But he was nominated for Best Actor.
Well, on that one, it's easy, hands down 3 for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Really, you're going to say it's a 3, Born on the 4th of July?
For him.
Because I was saying it would be a 2.
No, for him.
Well, I know for him, but if we look at a 3, does Born on the 4th of July, because, okay, so he didn't win a major award for it. So we then have to look at, okay, does it have super long-lasting cultural impact? Born on the 4th of July, that movie.
Okay, hold on.
His performance in that movie.
All right, well, the movie itself, yeah, I think so. In the sense, when you say cultural impact, yeah.
It won Best Picture.
That's my point.
Okay.
So, which doesn't have to have impact, because the criteria is it has to be.
But it's the movie that won and not him. Like, if he won Best Actor, it's a 3.
I understand, but I think that's one of those where, and I don't have it in front of me, nor do I want to look it up of who he was up against that year, but he easily could have won that.
Sure.
If you're nominated,
89.
If you're nominated, right?
Yeah,
you're there. That's acclaimed by your party of your peers.
Okay.
That's a 3 for me. Right?
Okay. All right.
It's a damn good movie. And yeah, it might not have little bits and pieces in it because it's a serious movie.
Okay, so in that one, all right, I'm with you there, because the movie won Best Picture and he was nominated for Best Actor.
Right.
So that's pretty strong.
It wasn't like the movie was fantastic and he was mediocre,
right,
and he got shunned, but the movie was great.
Right. Okay.
He was right up there to get the award himself.
Sure.
So I say 3.
Okay.
We're going to go 3?
We're going to go 3.
Okay, awesome. Now, moving on to another 3, The Burbs.
Oh my God, yes. John Lovett was in that, I think, with Tom Hanks.
Oh, and just so we know, we're now caught up. That was 89. This is 89.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because Tom Hanks he was doing other stuff then, I guess, for a while. Okay.
Do we need to go into the recap of this movie? It's
a 0. No,
it's
a 0.
It's a 0.
It's a goofy comedy.
Right. So this is... Oh, shoot. Hold on. Sorry, everybody. Got to go back. All right, go ahead. What's your next one?
So now we're into the 90s.
I'm not yet. I have one more before I hit the 90s. Well, let me go ahead and knock that one out.
Okay, go ahead.
Turner and Hooch.
Turner and Hooch. This is 0.
A dog.
Yeah. Detective movie.
It's a detective and dog buddy movie. 0.
Cute movie, but 0.
All right, let's get into the 90s. Okay, now before we move forward, should I recap now where we are?
Yeah, if you want to recap, sure.
All right, so here's where we are on the count.
So is this, you going to go down Tom Cruise or Hanks?
I'm going to go both. I'm going to give you a total of where we are with both. All right? So on Cruise, we got Taps at a 1, Risky Business at a 2, Top Gun at a 2, Color of Money at a 1, Rain Man at a 2, and Born on the 4th of July at a 3.
Yep.
Okay? So we're looking at 11 at the moment for Cruise. Hanks, we got Splash at 1.
Yep.
Nothing in Common at 1, Big at 2. Okay. So we're rocking 4 over here.
11 to 4?
Yes, it's 11 to 4 going into 1990.
All right, but we do know that Hanks he's had a surge of late.
Obviously, somewhere something clicked in on the screenplays he buys into.
That's right. Yes.
All right.
Okay. All right.
So go ahead. What's the 90s?
All right. So 1990 for Tom Cruise, Days of Thunder, directed by Tony Scott, where he plays Cole Trickle.
Ridley Scott's brother?
I don't. Tony Scott. I don't know.
Cousin, third cousin.
I don't know.
He's like the stepson.
I just want to. I think I know who Tony Scott is. I don't know. Anyway.
No, who knows? So
he plays Cole Trickle. That's where he met Nicole Kidman and their relationship began. And let's mention this, before that, he was married to Mimi Rogers.
That is right. Who has a nice rack, or dead.
Mimi Rogers. Anyway, is she dead?
No, but she's old.
Yeah.
Her rack doesn't sit here. It sits
that's
here.
right. What was that movie she was in? That where
I remember when I was younger, I used to look at all the naughty clips of that.
Yes. Okay,
What
anyway.
was that? Yeah, sorry. We can do a porn one later.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that Days of Thunder is a 1.
Absolutely. I'll give it a 1.
All right.
I will give it a 1 just because of the entertainment value of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really, it's the poor man's Top Gun in an automobile.
I called it Top Gear when it came out.
I think
even though
that's
there was a show called that.
Yes.
I said let's just call it Top Gear.
It is. It is. Okay, so we're going Days of Thunder with a 1.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Hanks, Joe versus the volcano.
Shelley Long?
No, that was Meg Ryan.
Meg
right?
Ryan, okay.
Or no, it wasn't Shelley Long. It was Meg Ryan, right?
I can't remember.
I think it was. I don't. Who knows? You know what? That answers the question
It's
on the
still a
ranking.
zero.
It's a 0 because
Yes.
we don't even know.
It's kind of a funny plot, though. It could have been a cooler movie. There was this island where they needed to make a human sacrifice. Tom Hanks has a terminal illness, decides to go do it.
He's going to be the
and then changes his mind or something.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
remember.
Stupid.
It was very stupid.
All right.
All right.
Not looking good.
So now Tom Cruise, Far and Away. The second movie with Nicole Kidman, I think.
Yeah, and is that Ron Howard, if I'm not mistaken?
Ron Howard directed that. Good. That's impressive that you knew that. I still think it's a 0.
Yeah.
Far and Away. I'll say this. So it's a story about Irish immigrants coming over for the land rush.
Right, back in the 1800s.
Yeah. And there are some cool slow motion fight scenes because the way he earns money is he's a amateur bare knuckle fighter.
Right.
So there's some awesome fight scenes.
There
in this
are,
movie.
and because it is that time frame, there's some amazing landscape photography going on.
It is Ron Howard.
And it's Ron Howard, but to be honest, I mean, in general,
movie was a flop.
Ron Howard movies,
it was a Ron Howard
it's
rare
not
miss.
good.
Yeah, it's a rare miss for Ron Howard.
Which means for Tom Hanks, it's nothing.
Right.
So that's a 0.
That's for Tom Cruise.
Oh, sorry, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Not Tom Hanks.
So
it was nothing for Tom Hanks.
So a weird flipping over, Ron Howard going over to the Tom Cruise camp there.
Well, we'll get back to him on the Tom Hanks in just a short while here.
All right.
Okay, now this one.
So 0 on Far and Away.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm going to recommend, it's still worth a watch.
Absolutely.
Just because, number one, all right, we didn't even talk. Nicole Kidman is super hot.
Well, if you really want to see Nicole Kidman in a hot movie.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What's the one on the boat?
Yeah, her first one, Dead Water.
Dead Calm.
Dead Calm. Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Shitty movie, but she's all sexy in it.
Yeah, really hot.
And then Eyes Wide Shut, which we're getting to.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
All right, so Hanks, the next one.
Yes.
The Bonfire of the Vanities.
0.
I mean,
Did you say who directed it? Somebody good directed that.
Well, someone good wrote it. It's Tom Wolfe.
Oh, it's based on the book.
Yeah, so great author, right? But when it comes to the movies, I could care less about this story. I mean,
I think I remember like trying to watch it. And
and it's one of those you can't really get yourself through it. So another Tom Hanks bomb.
I want to know who directed that for some reason.
I tell you what, I gotta pee.
All right.
So should I pause or let it run?
No, let's just let it run. It was directed by Brian De Palma, who's an awesome director.
Absolutely.
And I just wanted to make sure we threw that out there. It came out in 1990. Good grief, it had a $47 million budget, and it only grossed $15 million.
Yeah.
So, major bomb. But it was nominated for some awards, which is crazy. All right, so it's a 0.
It wasn't enough.
No.
All right, where are we on Cruise?
All right. So that gets us to, so we're now in 1992, directed by Rob Reiner, A Few Good Men.
Yes, which I love Rob Reiner.
Yes, me too.
Meathead.
Awesome director.
Meathead.
Directed Spinal Tap.
It's awesome, which is great.
Yes.
Okay, I guess for anyone who doesn't know, do you want to give the rundown on the...
Oh yeah, sure. So A Few Good Men. Well, Tom Cruise. Well, it's a story about what the prison. No, the base. Guantanamo Bay. Is that what it's about?
Not,
or kind of a Guantanamo.
It's that in that.
It's a base.
Vein.
A base near Cuba or somewhere.
Yeah, it's with inappropriate military.
Right.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Whatever. It's a military, because actually what the base did is inconsequential. It was about
cover up
of violence internal to the soldiers that were there.
Exactly.
Right. Hazing terms gone wrong. Right. And so it was a court martial.
Right.
Of the wrongful death.
Right.
Basically.
Yes.
And Jack Nicholson is in it, who gives an amazing performance.
Yep.
It would be a 3
for him
because it's the "you can't handle the truth" soundbite that has permeated popular culture
absolutely
for a long, long time.
Still, I think.
Yep, and that's just starting to kind of fizzle out. But Tom Cruise plays the prosecuting attorney.
He's the naval attorney. He's a naval attorney, right?
Yep. Who has to prosecute, and Demi Moore's in it.
Yes.
Kevin Bacon's in it.
Yep.
It's a pretty damn good movie.
It is.
Bill Paxton in it too? Can't remember.
I don't remember if Paxton's in it.
All right. But I'm gonna say it's at least a 1 for Tom Cruise. Damn. It's definitely not a 0, man.
No. I was wondering
you were
on 2.
Say is it a 2?
Only because, and again, I mean, this is one of those gray areas because, in all honesty, that movie's a 2.
Yeah.
Because of the movie's a 2, right?
The movie's a 2.
Because of Jack Nicholson and because of that line.
Yep.
Right? Now,
just Jack Nicholson, it might be a 3.
Right, but did Cruise, was his portrayal in it a 2?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm thinking it's a 1 because honestly, his role in it, he was okay in it.
Yeah.
His 1, he had a strong scene in it.
Yeah. Which forces Nicholson to say what he says.
He's like the protagonist or whatever.
Right.
But
God.
And there's some pretty awesome stories. I remember hearing, I think Rob Reiner, in an interview I heard with Rob Reiner, talked about that scene. Like when they were shooting that scene and how they did it, like they did the close-ups, like Jack Nicholson like demanded. Because normally what happens, like the star, when it's the second leads, close-ups, they don't have to be there.
Right.
But Nicholson was like, no, I'm going to be there the whole time. We're all going to be here the whole time.
Right.
That kind of thing. Like, he was really into it. It was a really cool story. But even with that, I mean, I'm borderline 2 or 1 on this one. Cause
I am too.
I think that movie was about Jack Nicholson.
It was.
And not really Tom Cruise.
I agree.
But Tom Cruise was technically the lead in that movie.
He is the lead in it.
Yeah, he has the most screen time.
He does. But his portrayal in it doesn't leave you with any lasting,
not really
memorable points, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's the lead, but he's just he's the trunk of the Christmas tree.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah,
it's all about the ornaments, I guess.
Then we're going with 1. Then
okay.
I mean,
maybe that's our controversial rating of the show.
Yeah, somebody is. I'm sure.
Can you believe it?
This.
We only gave Tom Cruise a 1 for that.
Just write in and bitch all you want. Okay. So for Hanks, the next one, 92, Radio Flyer.
It's a 0.
It's again a 0. There's
decent movie. I saw it.
Yeah, but
it's just
no sense in belaboring the point. Move on.
Okay. The next one for Tom Cruise is 1993, directed by Sidney Pollack, The Firm.
Okay.
So, great book. Launched the career of that dude. Who was that?
Yeah, John Grisham.
Yeah, that was like that was his first book. But
it wasn't his first, but it was the first one that was adapted to a movie that it was like, and it put him in the forefront.
Well, that's one of those books where like I never read legal thrillers, but I read The Firm.
Oh, and since I've read almost all of it,
because everybody read that book. But now the movie, it was all right.
I'd say it's a 1.
You saying it's a 1? I was going to say it's a 0.
I'd say it's a 1. I think that he gave a decent performance in it.
I mean, it's definitely a decent performance.
I remember having read the book and then watching the movie, I think the angst that character had in the book, I felt it through him.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to give him a 1.
So the cultural significance there is because the book was so big, is just it was a bigger role, right?
Right. But, well, and with a 1, the cultural significance doesn't have to matter but so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a decent role.
Okay.
I mean, for him. He did a decent performance. He did a good job.
I'm good with the 1.
So we'll give The Firm a 1. And I'm the one who hates this man, and I'm giving him stuff.
You're loving it. You're turning into a Cruise fan.
No, I'm not. Okay, so here we go. Now, okay, I just want to thank everybody for holding out for the turnaround for Tom Hanks, because this starts it right here.
Okay.
A League of Their Own.
Oh yeah.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, this is either a Penny Marshall film or her dad.
Frank Marshall.
Yeah, it might be Frank. No, it might be Penny. I'm not sure.
1992.
While he's looking that up.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, so basically this is back, I think it's the 50s or 40s. I'm not sure the time.
Yeah, it was during the war.
Okay, yeah, the 40s. That's right. Okay. Everybody, baseball is America's pastime. Nobody's here to play it anymore because everybody's at war.
Based on true story.
Yeah. So they go and they grab Tom Hanks' character, who's Jimmy Dugan, and who used to be a baseball player and is just kind of like grouchy, grumpy, drunken dude who's like, they want him to start doing minor league games to give people still baseball entertainment, which he's happy to do, until he realizes that what it is women's league. And the big thing is women don't belong in baseball. And so he gets stuck with this team of women, which again has a pretty decent cast of people in it.
Directed by Penny Marshall directed it.
Yeah, Penny. I knew it's a Marshall, a Marshall production. But anyway, so again, it's him coming to terms with teaching women. Women actually end up learning to be decent softball players, and their camaraderie, and they're joining together to win everything. Just your typical sports themed, blah 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 movie. But it's good. I mean, it's a well-made movie. Hanks in it, I think, is great.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say, so one of the things, the movie, he was good in it. And he did have he had a cultural meme. There's no crying in baseball. That kind of sticks around. I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time at work, where there's no crying in blank, insert blank. Now granted, Hanks was just the actor that delivered that line. He didn't write that line.
No.
As part of his character. But the other thing significant about League of Their Own, it was selected. Hold on. This is pretty. Hold on, wait. Where did it go? Dang, I missed it. It was selected in 2012. It was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry in the Library of Congress for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. The movie.
I think culturally is what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, that being said...
other than that, I don't think it won any other type of awards or anything.
My opinion on this one is it's a 1.
I agree. Definitely not a 0. He was good in it. He kind of made the movie, in my opinion. And John Lovitz.
Yeah, John Lovitz funny in it. But no, he held this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we got back on the board.
Okay. So then 1994 for Tom Cruise, kind of a controversial role for him, Interview with a Vampire, where he plays the vampire Lestat.
Mm-hmm.
So just to get my own bias out of the way, one of my favorite books. Okay. Well, let's say
that one
this.
alone or the series?
Sorry. Actually, the next book in the series, The Vampire Lestat, not Interview with the Vampire. So it's actually The Vampire Lestat is a prequel to this,
right?
Which I had read prior to the movie.
Right.
So one of my favorite characters, let's say, in literature is the Vampire Lestat from Anne Rice.
I think the Vampire Chronicles across the board.
Vampire Chronicles are awesome.
Good, yeah.
And so it was a controversial role. Again, another kind of stretch for Tom Cruise. Because he never played like a supernatural any type of thing before, and the vampire
legend.
No, yeah, I guess.
But
yeah,
but not like this.
But not like this. He wasn't the lead really, and it was with Brad Pitt.
Right.
And the I forget the other guy. The Spanish actor, but
Antonio
Banderas. But and then but there was outcry from the Anne Rice fans. Like, no, Tom Cruise will be a horrible Lestat. It should be the other way around. Brad Pitt should play Lestat.
Right.
Because Lestat is like this womanizer vampire, like romantic,
right?
Rogue, forget the vampire rules, go and do what you want kind of character.
Well, right. And at the time, let's all put into context that at the time, not that you would think, why can't Tom Cruise play that? But at the time, Brad Pitt, newer on the scene, the new pretty boy. Mm-hmm. Tom Cruise is getting long in the tooth at this point.
Yep.
So,
but as it turns out, in my opinion, it was a good selection because the role of Vampire Lestat, way more complicated role than Brad Pitt's character. I forget his name.
Sure, right.
Who ended up being like more of an insignificant vampire.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, so I'm going to say that's at least a 1.
It's a 1. I'm going to give that a 1.
Because it's a good movie and it holds up. I don't know the last time you've seen it. Also worth a watch.
Yeah, no, it's a 1. All right,
definitely worth a read.
Yeah, I would, I'm always going to say way worth a read. I mean, watch the movie.
That's one of those books you can go to like Barnes & Noble and get. Like, I could say, honestly, you could skip Interview with a Vampire and just start with the Vampire Lestat. Well, I think that they were put out backwards. I think they should have put Lestat out first.
Well, if it helps anybody who's interested in reading it,
yeah.
I know Barnes & Noble had, if you look at their Barnes & Noble, they actually take those books, rebind them, like make their own little thing. Mm-hmm. They have the entire collection in one hardback.
It's like 12 bucks.
The whole Chronicles of the Vampires, so it's worth getting if you want to read something.
And read Lestat first.
Yeah.
You'll love it. It's awesome.
Hey everybody, it's Bo. Just a quick reminder here, the Tom Cruise versus Tom Hanks podcast was such a long, interesting discussion. We had to break it into 2 parts. So you've heard part 1, and now you can download part 2 and hear the exciting conclusion. So as always, thanks for listening, and don't insult my intelligence.